You've not even had any casual dating?
No. I actually am a late bloomer. I wasn't attracted to guys.
Rhasha Al-Faruqi woke to the soft glow of dawn streaming through her sheer curtains. She turned on her side and inhaled the faint scent of jasmine from the planter outside her window. At 35, she'd created a life of serenity in her third-floor apartment, a haven filled with plants, books, and light. Yet beneath the calm, a quiet ache stirred. She carried the title of both divorced and virgin. Rhasha rose, took a deep breath, and tucked her long black hair into a loose ponytail. She poured mint tea, settled into her favorite wicker chair by the window, and watched the city wake with petal-soft beauty. Today, she would face an unfamiliar possibility, attending a meetup for people seeking honest, deep relationships. It was called TLC, Tender, Loving, Clarity, a weekly gathering hosted at the local community center. The promise of authenticity, connection, and safe space felt compelling. She opened her laptop to revisit the form she'd filled. Marital status: divorced, single since 2 years. Virginity: yes, no prior sexual experiences. Intentions: to meet someone who understands complexity, who embraces both my past and my beliefs. 2 years had passed since her divorce, a decision rooted not in moral failure, but in mismatch. He craved physical intimacy, and she did not. Their separation had brought relief but also suspicion from others. How could someone be divorced yet never have been intimate? Gossip whispered it was scandalous. But for Rhasha, it was simply who she was, a woman shaped by faith, respect, and personal conviction. At the community center, pastel lanterns glowed along the wall, and soft acoustic guitar played in the background. Rhasha's palms were dry with anticipation as she signed in, checking the box next to divorced and intentionally chaste. Not many did. She found a seat next to a young man named Samir, his eyes kind and curious. He gave a gentle nod of greeting. The facilitator, Nadia, welcomed the group. TLC is a place to speak your truth and be heard. Let's begin with introductions. Name, what brings you here, and one hope for today. Samir spoke first. I'm Samir. I'm 27. I'm here because I want a relationship built on trust, not just dating apps. I hope to learn what vulnerability really means. A couple nodded in agreement. And then Nadia gestured to Rhasha. Rhasha felt her throat tighten. She'd practiced her words all morning. She closed her eyes, drew in a breath, and spoke. I'm Rhasha. I came here because I want to belong, to find someone who sees all of me, including being divorced and waiting. I hope to feel less isolated in my experience. A hush fell. Nadia offered a soft smile. Thank you for sharing. That takes courage. After introductions, Nadia led a pairing exercise. Rhasha was matched with a woman named Priya, who'd served in the Peace Corps and valued sincerity above all. They sat face to face, guided to take turns asking and answering caring questions. Priya started, "What's the hardest part of your story?" Rhasha answered with quiet honesty, explaining my decision. To my family. To friends. To potential partners. I feel people see my divorce and want to attach assumptions. They assume I must have been free with intimacy. She paused. I crave clarity. I want love built on understanding. Priya mirrored back, being seen for who you truly are, that's essential. You sound strong, but you deserve tenderness too. Next, Rhasha asked, what scares you in a relationship? Priya replied, that you'll get to know someone deeply, and then they disappear, like you never mattered. Rhasha nodded. She understood that fear too well. After the exercise, Priya gave her a warm hug. You're not invisible. Rhasha felt something lighten inside. Later that week, Rhasha attended another meeting, the Virgin Circle, held in the back room of the community library. The sign outside read, Redefine Expectation. Embrace Intention. Inside, about 8 others sat in a gentle circle, men and women, each carrying their own story of waiting, choice, or faith-promised chastity. Amira, the facilitator, began by saying, what does virginity mean to you? A tall young man spoke first. It's my sense of respect for myself, believe in the significance of intimacy. Another woman shared how her culture shaped her decision. When it was Rhasha's turn, she spoke, I see it as guarding a part of my heart until someone truly honors it. Her heart thumped as she paused, wanting to convey clarity. Maybe that sounds old-fashioned, but I believe that love demands patience. Applause followed. People nodded. A man named Hassan said gently, "You've given voice to something important. That virginity isn't emptiness, it's an expression of worth." They spent time journaling. When have I felt held in emotional safety? Rhasha wrote about candlelit dinner with her closest friend after her divorce. How in that moment, she realized being heard could feel intimate without physical touch. As the meeting closed, Amira encouraged them to write anonymous letters of affirmation to each other. Rhasha's card read, "Your story is powerful. Your convictions are beautiful." On a Sunday afternoon, Rhasha received a follow-up message from Nadia at TLC. A workshop was being hosted, Navigating Intimacy and Boundaries in Contemporary Lives. It invited participants to share lived experiences and build healthy connection. Rhasha hesitated, but something in the description stirred curiosity. She clicked yes. When she arrived, the room buzzed with quiet energy. Participants sat in pairs again, this time sharing one memory when boundaries had healed rather than harmed. Her partner that day was Omar, a gentle-faced man in his late 30s with a bronze complexion and warm eyes. His story was about a past relationship where his insistence on small, consistent promises, calling at night, checking in, had repaired a moment of hurt. He believed that simple habits built trust. Rhasha found his story resonant. Then it was her turn. She spoke about her divorce, repeating how parting from someone who didn't share her vision had actually become a space for clarity and renewal. Omar reached across and lightly touched her hand. "You inspire me with your kindness toward yourself." Her heart collected that small touch. She realized she wasn't used to experiencing interest that felt both respectful and authentic. That evening, Rhasha sat on her balcony as the lights of the city below blinked awake. She held a notebook filled with thoughts, doodles of connection, sticky notes scrawled with keywords: trust, consistency, affection beyond the physical, mutual vulnerability. She reviewed her encounters. Priya, whose kindness revealed her own journey toward healing. Hassan, whose affirming words felt like balm. Omar, who held space with gentle interest. And the ongoing presence of TLC gatherings, spaces that didn't force labels, but invited curiosity. She felt on the cusp of something, maybe friendship or more. But she also felt empowered. She had discovered that her value wasn't diminished by her choices, but enhanced by them. The vision of connection she'd written in her journal that evening. With someone who sees me, my past, my faith, my convictions, and decides to stay, not by accident, but by choice. As she wrote, a breeze drifted in. Rhasha realized she didn't yet know which path she'd choose, but she was ready to walk it.